Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, coming again today, you're very, very welcome. I trust you enjoyed my last video on blamage and the big hit from the early 1980s, Living on a Ceiling. It's all about being the precariousness of being in a relationship you don't understand. So I trust you encouraged as we looked at trying to make life as easy as we can for each other. Well, going from there to dog days are over. How absolutely incredibly amazing to be able to declare this statement to the world today. These words were brought to life in 2007 in London. This band was formed. Florence Welch on lead vocals and Isabella Summers on keyboards. Florence Robot Machine was well and truly a group that these two were kind of a part of. But when they brought Todd Monger on harp, Rob Ackroyd on guitar and Christopher Lloyd Haven on drums together, what started out as a bit of an in-joke, Florence on the Machine, the name actually took hold. I thought, well, actually, let's just call ourselves that. And so Florence and the Machine were born. They got their start through the BBC Music Introducing. And because of that, they actually won a Critics' Choice Award in the Brit Awards, which is pretty cool. They're already being noticed as very dramatic, very eccentric production, and the power vocals of Florence Welch are absolutely stunning. 2009, the album Lungs was released. This was a massive album for these guys. It's got to #1 in the UK, #2 in Ireland. And also actually #1 US Heat Seeker album charts as well. So this was a pretty big album for these guys. Kiss with a Fist was the first lead single. One of the lines, I set fire to our bed. And you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. This is well and truly a post-breakup song, even a little bit further, and that is, hey, I'm reflecting back on how bad this relationship was. It was so bad, I set fire to our bed. So Kiss with a Fist was a pretty dramatic lead single, and here we can see just how incredible Florence's vocals are, how flamboyant she is, how eclectic she is, and just how good she looks on camera. So we got the official clip of Kiss with a Fist below. Dog days are over. You know what I love about this channel? You know, when you've heard a song and you don't know who it's by. I mean, we don't know about every conceivable song that was ever released. I do remember the show Glee, and they had a particularly amazing thing to celebrate. And this is the song they chose. Dog days are over. Well, it was Florence and the Machine that actually brought this song out, and it was part of, again, that 2009 album Lungs. Below, we've got a live version, and one of the things I love about the production of this song is Todd's harp at the start. You don't very often see harp in eclectic rock, eclectic pop songs. Well, it's absolutely there, and it's an iconic part of this song, absolutely. We've got a live version of this one below with Florence's flamboyant nature. Let's just say she's been likened to such people as Kate Bush, Susie from Susie and the Banshees, and Tori Amos and Bjork. That's a pretty illustrious list of people right there. Dog days are over. Why am I declaring that for myself? Because you know what? I think I can absolutely say that. You know how you get to a point of life where life is comfortable, life is happy? You've dealt with so much stuff in your past that just that little stuff lingers on. It lingers and it lingers and it lingers and it lingers, and you can't quite shake it. You know, you go into life, particularly in your good time of life, just a little bit hesitant, a little bit reluctant. And you're not really trusting that, life can be what it can be. You long for the dog days to be over. And I think if you think about Kiss with a Fist as well, you chuck that song in there as well as the lead single off of Lungs, you think, well, that wasn't a very good relationship at all. We move forward to Dog Days Are Over. She's actually been able to declare that I am actually moving into a new, exciting part of my life. All those little insecurities that I had, all of those little unsurenesses I had, all those little things that are holding you back are over. There's safety, there's security, there's assurance. There's all of these things that we really, really want life to be. We want life to be happy, don't we? We really, really want it to be happy. We think about hope too. Now, in the past, I've talked about when hope becomes hopeless. You know, hope is just one of these things that will keep us hanging on, keep us hanging on, keep us hanging on. But at some point, we've got to be thinking, hey, what am I doing? Well, hope fulfilled. It could be that we give up on a false hope and we adopt a new hope that is different. And we think, when we can actually say hope fulfilled, dog days are over. It's an absolutely stunning way to be. It involves, I think, as you can tell, I'm a little bit excited today. I think it involves a little bit of letting go, I think, of the things which we thought were important that no longer are. It involves a lot of flexibility as well. And I think if you do want a life you've always wanted, well, life is going to say, well, you know what, I don't think that particular bit works for you anymore. So does it really, really need to be there? Well, if it doesn't, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yeah, but I've lived with this thing all my life, Trevor. You know, I know it, I can rely on it, I trust it. How's it gone for you? Has it worked for you? If it hasn't, get rid of it. Now, if a new relationship comes along, and I'm really happy to say that for me, 2 years is coming up soon. It's pretty cool to actually have a best friend as well as a romantic partner, but to have someone who is a friend. For 12 months beforehand, neither of us knew what was actually happening in our hearts and minds as this thing was progressing. Really, the best way to be friends first, and then, you know, the slowness has already happened in lots and lots of ways. So, you know, and when you think, oh, well, hang on, you know, what about this? Well, does it matter? Does it matter? What do you want? You want a life you've always wanted. Well, that want is going to get challenged. I think that want is the way you want life to be is going to get challenged. Because there is no person in life that's going to make your life, you know, that's going to fix all your problems. This isn't. We still have to do the work that we need to do to work out what we need to be in a relationship, which is just two people. As she thinks about me, I think about her. And we think about, what does our relationship need? Because we both had dog days in the past, and we don't want the dog days anymore. We want to be able to walk into the future hand in hand, thinking about, well, what do we want our life to be? But there is some, it takes a while to get there, you know, because when you're in amongst when you've actually come from a life that's been challenging, and all of a sudden you're a life that's not, you know, can your mind switch really easily and quickly to the new thing? Well, no, it takes time. And the great thing about a really good relationship is that you give grace to each other to work that stuff through. Absolutely. Because, you know, at the end of the day, that is the end goal, to actually have the life we've always wanted. Dog days are over. How absolutely wonderful and stunningly good to be able to say that today. You're right in the middle of dog days right now. And it's an opportunity, if you think about the stuff that's not working for you, the stuff that is, the stuff that you need to let go, the stuff you walk forward with. Because if you want a life you've always wanted, well, it's probably going to be different to the one you've got now. So work out what's important, let go of the stuff which isn't so important, and you'll be able to move into life in a brand new, fresh way. The life of routine, the life of habit, the life of what we've always done may not be what your life moving forward will be. And as human beings, it's really, really hard for us to make changes and to adopt a new way of living, a new way of being, a new way of thinking, a new way of feeling. But sometimes that's what's needed. Do we want dog days are over? Do we want it? As being someone who can say that now, I do. I really, really want it. And someone who's, 50, well, 60, was 60 this year. This is this time of life when we actually want it to be good. And as we're going into the next chapter, I suppose, of life a little bit, we want life to be good. We've worked really, really hard and we want it to be different. We want it to be exciting. We want to be able to enjoy life. When you've got a companion, a lover, a friend to do that with, it's absolutely stunning. So, if I could speak to my 20-year-old self, I would say, hey, be a little bit braver. Go for what you want. And look for what's important. And as I move forward, some 40 years down the track from there now, I think I can absolutely say that. So, how incredible to be able to declare dog days are over. So I encourage you to look at the live and official clip of this one below. So Florence on the Machine, we're on a bit of a crest of a wave, absolutely. And it was announced that they would actually do a key song, Heavy in Your Arms, from the third Twilight movie, Eclipse. We've got official and studio clip of this one below. It was a bit of an interesting time in that particular trilogy where things were starting to resolve a little bit, but they were starting to come to realise that, hey, there's just a little bit more to do here. Our dog days are still going a little bit. I don't want to be that going forward. So we got the Heavy in Your Arms below. In 2011, the album Ceremonials got released. We got #1 in the UK and #6 in the US Billboard charts. Shake It Out was a massive song. Again, another song I didn't realise Florence and the Machine did, but when you hear it, you recognise it. There's a live version now. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely stunning below. We've got Florence singing in all of her glory. We've got orchestra. We've got incredible vocals. We've got incredible production. And absolutely stunningly beautiful song, this one indeed. It's a rare, I think we're privileged to see a performance such as this one. We've got a live version from the iconic Royal Albert Hall, Darkness Before the Dawn. So enjoy that clip below. In 2012, they released Breath of Life from Snow White and the Huntsman. We've got a live version of that one below. And in 2015, How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful. And we've got the song What Kind of Man. The album got to #1 in the UK charts on debut. Again, we're looking at artistry. And we've got a live version and an official clip of this one below. This is all about what happens to a relationship when it endures tragedy. We're talking about, someone doing something wrong to someone else. This is something that's happened outside of the relationship, something external, but really and truly part of it. Could be a parent dying, it could be something like that. And the separation that can happen and the loneliness that can happen in that particular situation. Florence and the Machine really were able to grapple with some of life's more complex issues. So we'll enjoy, but reflect on those clips below. We've got some quite heavy guitars happening in this song as well, and so please reflect on that clip below. Between 2009 and 2025, there's been 5 studio albums, 6 EPs, 3 live albums, 4 compilation albums, 33 singles, and 33 music videos. 4 UK #1 albums. And they've sold around 8 million albums, so pretty significant in the scheme of things. So it's good to be able to reflect on these guys today. They've actually won 2 Brit Awards and an Ivor Novello Award as well, including 7 Grammy nominations. They've won around 25 awards. So it's great to see that the industry has acknowledged the significance of Florence and the Machine today. So the links to those 8 clips in the description below. And I've also included my last video from Blamage, so if you want to recap on them, feel free. Well, if this is your first time to Life Reflections through Music, or you've come back for another one, how great to see everyone here. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to get on to the very mysterious Grace Jones. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.